Welcome to Sexual Frequency, a non judgmental place where we can play, explore, and vibe into the new paradigm of sexuality and intimacy together. I'm your host, Goddess Lore, and tonight I'm feeling juicy and empowered as I'm still processing all of the things that went on while I was in the ATL. Y'all know where I was at, Sex Down South. Baby, we're going to be talking about all the things tonight. I hope you guys are ready. Are you ready? I don't know if I'm ready. I have a lot to share. I know. I'm a little nervous myself. But we've been gone for a minute. We miss you guys. It's so good. It feels really good to be back. Y'all know we were gone because of COVID things and then traveling to Atlanta. But we're back. What is that ticking sound? So interesting. Y'all, I'm going to just say it. My mom is in the studio tonight.
Totally here.
And so we fixed the light issue because we acknowledged that she was here. And now we have this like weird clicking other issue going on. So I don't know who else is here. Y'all want to name off your ancestors? Is it my grandpa? Who's here? Who's here with us?
Inspiration for your journey, so I think it's her totally.
My mom is definitely the inspiration for my journey. But you know, COVID things, they suck, as we all know. The cough is still kind of kicking my ass a little bit, but we're here. We're hopped up on some codeine. We got some halls.
Sounds like a lot
I got a couple of puffs of albuterol.
I did. I took a hit before we started the show. I took some codeine at the house. I have a halls in the back of my throat. We're doing all the things. But yeah, we've been gone for a while, but now we're back. And I just want to welcome everybody who's here. It's a full house as we're here wanting to debrief all of the Sex Down South stuff. So I'm going to start with you, Rick Rock with the Hard Cock. How you doing tonight?
What up, Mama? I'm doing all right. Welcome back.
You too. Welcome back. Yes. We have a lot to celebrate. Not just the fact that I went to this amazing fucking life-changing conference, right? But also our boys in blue, baby. Y'all know what it is. We won the West one more time. 9 out of 10 years, baby. You can't tell us nothing. You really can't. You can't. Don't talk to me about World Series and rings and this and that. You know what? You're right. But not everybody can be number one. But you know who's number one in the West, baby? LA Dodgers. Por vida, fool. All right? Don't fucking get that shit twisted.
That's right. Tell them, girl. Tell them.
October is looking good. I mean,
no, we need this for the Raiders to get on the train, because
we need the Raiders to get on the train. We did. Listen, it was a close score. I was in Atlanta, and in my brain, I got the times all fucked up because I was like, I'm gonna find me a bar. There, there's there's bars for all kinds of teams everywhere. I was like, I'm gonna find me a bar and I'm gonna go watch the Raiders game. Yeah, by the time I found a bar, people were already commenting about the game, and they were like, "Oh, this is," you know how fucking Raiders fans get, just like Mexico soccer fans get, like one bad fucking thing, and it's like no sirven para nada. They're useless.
Jerseys on the stadium floor.
Right? Burning jerseys.
The first week too.
So by the time I went to see, to find a bar, the game was over.
No, you didn't.
Bitch. I was like, oh, this is a late game. Or are they public? Yeah. Is it going to be all over the place?
No,
I can just watch it in my hotel? Like, what?
Time. Yeah, the late game, 4 o'clock over there, I guess it was.
Yeah. And in my mind, I was like, oh, that's 7.
No,
7 p.m. in Atlanta.
It was a 1 o'clock game here. It was.
Right, 1. So my head went to, 4, right?
Yeah.
But then in my, I'm asleep, I'm tired, I'm processing all this stuff. I was like, oh, the game's at 4. And then I was like, but I'm in Atlanta hours later, 7 o'clock. No, bitch, I totally fucking missed it.
Mercury retrograde.
Mercury retrograde, you're right. Y'all know I'm not alone. We have Eileen the intern is also with us. Y'all know we the Raider fans right here, rolling deep. Ricky, Eileen. We sure are. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back. I'm so glad that you're healthier.
Yes.
Not 100, but I'm glad you're here.
Thank
COVID's
you.
a mother.
It sure is. You were gone for a minute.
I was here. I was out first, and then like a couple weeks later, she got it. So yeah, we're here. We're healthy. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And we're all here together.
Same. I'm happy to be here. Happy that I'm thankful. I'm gonna
seriously.
pray.
Thank you.
Thank you for the codeine.
Baby Jesus.
To the gods. Thank you to the codeine. Now they don't give it. Yeah, they don't give that to you right off the bat anymore. They don't just give you codeine even when you have like COVID. Like you got to work for that shit. Like
my 800 milligram Motrin ibuprofen, I would die.
The only reason I ended up getting codeine is because my cough was so crazy. It was causing me to have nosebleeds, and my nose wouldn't stop bleeding. And so I was just like, I got up in the morning to get water. I'm in the kitchen and I start like fucking hacking up a lung. And then I just feel like warmth all over. And I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh shit. Like I had blood everywhere.
I like FaceTimed her with her bloody shirt. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Like a murder scene.
Blood.
It's like
Are
a
you
lot.
sure
Blood.
Are you sure it was codeine and not cocaine?
Oh, shit.
Got the codeine from using the
that
cocaine.
causes nosebleeds too. That's known to cause nosebleeds too.
It sure is.
What's really going on over there?
Confession, I've never tried coke before.
Me neither. I did smoke some of a pea dog by accident back in the day.
Okay, so
And I
pea
was
dog is a
scared
joint dipped.
No, it's not dipped. It's like cocaine and it rolled into it, like sprinkled into a joint.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
Yeah.
Or tobacco, I think too. You could do it with cigarette, I think too.
So what? The long story short, my cousins, because I was a little pothead back in the day. My cousins had borrowed my pipe, and they were fucking smoking pea dogs, but like in the pipe, not rolled up. And they guess the resin from the coke.
Yeah.
And when I went to go take a hit of my shit, my throat went numb. I was like fucking running around the backyard like a crazy person.
Oh
I can't feel my throat. And yeah, never again.
Wait,
like,
though,
no.
your throat goes numb?
Your throat. Well, hello, your nose was numb with the coke. Yeah, my throat was numb.
The things that you
Throat
can do
was
with the numb throat. I'm just kidding.
Only you can turn that shit sexual.
I don't condone that. You always want to be able to feel. That's why I don't condone any like lubes that numb you, like anally numb you or numb your throat. 'Cause you got to feel it, because if it hurts or if it's too much, you could cause damage. Like, don't do
It
it.
can't be that strong though.
What?
Like the numbing. I'm sure it can't be like.
On the loops?
I mean, I've never tried any, but I would
yeah.
imagine you'd
Yeah,
have
no.
to have some element of like.
I don't know. I always
Scary.
thought
I
like
don't
it
know.
Never
was-
thought about that.
I thought it was more like for the guys, so that they wouldn't nut quick. You know what I mean? You're just numb. Like,
Oh,
numb-
no.
numbing
No,
sensation.
isn't it
No,
like
it's
so
for-
That's
a
what I
lot of
always
women can't.
Perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
right?
That's
I never
it.
even thought of that.
It's an interesting perspective.
Would that even work?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Maybe.
I've never tried them, but you know, I guess
Who
we'll have
would
to
like
look
to
them.
try? This is gonna be someone in the audience, right? We also have
in the chat.
in studio guests with us. We got
Momo over there.
We got-
Momo.
we got
Momo 300.
little sis
800.
over here,
Mama
Momo 800.
Mama 800.
We got
300 plus
Daisy.
size.
Momo doesn't know what the hell's going on over there.
Daisy's here.
Daisy.
From Crystal Clear Intention. She is going to be our official guest next week. I said that right? Is that why you're laughing? Did I fuck that up?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Sorry, I'm
Excuse me.
seeing the faces of the audience, so it's hard to like not react.
Got it. And it's always a special night when we have the High Priestess with us from Horny Astrology. She's here to let us know all the things we have to do, because there are hella planets going retrograde right now. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but so we need tools. We need tools to help us navigate this. Because let me tell you, we were definitely feeling Mercury retrograde on the last night. I'll talk about that later on the show. But yeah, we're here. We're going to talk about all the things from Sex Down South. If you have any questions and you're in the chat, jump in. Let us know if you have any questions about Sex Down South, Mercury retrograde, the Raiders, cocaine, P dogs, any of the
If
above.
you're new, if you're new
Listen.
on here, let us know in the chat that you're new. We want to
We see
know.
We see all of you that are joining us live, but shoot your name, say hello.
Carol Mommy's in the chat saying missed you.
Aww, we always miss Carol Mommy. She's a fucking vibe.
She's a
love
faithful
you.
listener. We appreciate
Definitely.
you.
We love Carol Mommy. Okay, so Sex Down South, guys. Okay, so Sex Down South was created by two queer Black women. Shout out to you, Marla and Tia. It's their baby, and every year it has just grown out of just love and creating space. And the idea was that a lot of like known sex spaces are on the coasts, right? Like more liberal places, East Coast, West Coast, also very white dominant. So this idea was born of having this beautiful inclusive space in the South, educators sharing all of the things that are, people of color. And I wasn't prepared. Like there was a lot of things that I didn't expect. So one, I have never been in such a inclusive space. I have never been in such a queer space. I've never been in such a loving space before. Everybody was so approachable from the two women who created this event, to the presenters, to the vendors that were there, to the people that were sitting next to you. It was like just love, just vibes, having conversations with people where you didn't have to worry that you're going to be judged, at least for the sexual things, right? Like there was other things that happened where I felt like I was a little bit judged because I did have some edible, and I was like, oh, you were high. And I was like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, that's okay.
Was that like
Okay.
a courage edible? Because you wanted to be like, I mean, because you're pretty out there with you, like you're not. So did you need to be like more? Did you need to be more out there when you were there?
No, it was interesting because I told a couple people I was there. I go, listen, the places that I'm in are usually like my show. Like I'm considered like the kinky person, and I'm in this space, and I felt like I'm just a baby. Like, literally, I was like, I'm just a baby. Like, oh my god, I'm a baby. And at first, it wasn't. It did feel a little bit intimidating, right? Like, and then I was like, no, I'm going to embrace this. Like, yeah, I am a baby. I'm here. I'm learning. And it was beautiful. It did take me a while to really acclimate. I would have to say like the majority of participants in the conference were Black, and then white, and then maybe like 2% Latino and other. So I think I was expecting to see more people who look like me also. Although don't get me wrong, it was beautiful to just be amongst so much like what just felt like Black excellence, and just, oh my god, love, and being able to see how strong the community is, like that was extremely powerful. But then to not see people, who look like me was a little hard. But then the moments that there was a Latina presenter that I got to meet, that was like really touching. I introduced myself to her at the end of her talk, and her name, let me see, I have it right here, is Janet Trevino. And Goddess Amina, who is my mentor, love her so much, that I got to meet. They did a talk on sex surrogacy and erotic healing for marginalized genders, and it was beautiful. And I got to introduce myself to her at the end of the talk, and I was like, oh my god, someone who looks like me. And she was like, hablas español? And I'm like, I do.
I just screamed in my panties.
I was like, oh my god, yes, I do. I speak Spanish. And then shout out to Mija, who was part of the admin team, and she's been there from the beginning. And we got to ride back in an Uber with her and Marla, the founder, because one night that we were out at and it was an event at a bar, she just ordered a big car. Marla, who was again the founder, and was like, who needs a ride back to the Sheridan? Like, jump in. And so it was her and Mija. And so I talked to Mija when we got out of the car, and again I was like, oh, like it means a lot to see somebody who looks like me. And she was like, but I don't speak Spanish, and she's older than me. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, hello, there's plenty of reasons why a lot of Latinos don't speak Spanish, and because it happens to be why, because of fucking stupid white supremacy and all of those things. So she was like, oh my God. I was like, well, where's your family from? And she goes, oh, my dad's from Sonora. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's where my mom's family is from. And she goes, oh, stop it. The next thing you're going to do is tell me your last name is Gonzalez. And I was like, oh my God, yes, it is. But we ended up getting separated because they were going to the play party and a couple of us went to Magic City. So we kind of got separated, and we're not related because the Gonzalez comes from my dad's side. But it was a really nice moment that I got to share with her. And if y'all have any questions, like while I'm talking, just jump in, because I'm like gonna freeball this whole thing. But I want to talk about the things that were extremely impressive to me. Aside from the fact that the majority of the presenters were people of color, there were white presenters also. But one of the things that was huge for me was that they had a healing room that was available at all times. So if ever you needed a massage, if you needed like Reiki, if you needed a cuddle, like cuddles, there was cuddle parties, cuddle piles everywhere. They had a tent for eye gazing. So it was so intentional in the fact of and I don't know if it's with the lens of marginalized communities, right? Because the majority of people, I would say, that were white in the space were queer. And so, they are marginalized as well. So it does look a little bit different, but just this idea of how important the healing component is when it comes to being in community and allowing you to be open and expressive with your sex, with your intimacy and your sexuality. The first keynote of the first night, the keynote was Dr. Lex Brown James, and she is the president of ASECT, which is like the governing body of like sex therapists and all of the things. The first Black woman to take that to have that post. She was elected, and she was motherfucking phenomenal. Like, she got up there, and it's like that energy of just like, I want to be your fucking friend. Like, bitch, what? Like, you were just fucking amazing. She was up there, she was cussing like a sailor, she was talking about her kids being, God, I can't remember what she called her kids, but it was like the funniest fucking thing, right? Like, not life sucker, but something along that, of like, sometimes your kids are little jerks. And she was like, saying all of the things. But her talk was about healing in community. And I was already kind of feeling a little like just a lot of emotions, right? Because there's so many people and everybody's so friendly. You're talking to everybody. Everybody wants to know what you do and all of the things. And I'm sitting there, and she's talking about her kids and her family. And all of a sudden, I had this like deep like exhale. And I'm crying. Like, I just like the tears just start coming down. And the woman next to me keeps kind of like turning over and like not knowing what to do. It's like, do I touch her? I don't have a tissue. Like, what do I do? And I mean, she hadn't even started talking about trauma yet, and I'm already like crying. But she was just giving different definitions of community and asking questions around like ways in which we have been traumatized. And one of the questions was, have you ever been traumatized by somebody in your own community? So it's this idea of like, we're in community with each other, but sometimes those same people that are supposed to be helpful and supportive, end up still fucking hurting you, right? And like, how do you navigate those things? And she did it quite beautifully. And somebody asked on Instagram, like, what are the key takeaways? And I would say that was a key takeaway for me, is to have your own community, your own set of people that support you, that have similar values to you, that you can talk about all of the things with. Because I think a lot of us, especially people who are kind of on the outskirts of what's considered normal or normalcy feel very isolated and not having anybody, to talk to about certain things. I have been very lucky because, like Rick and I, like, we have a lot of queer friends that we're used to having and holding these conversations around, like, to us normal looks different because we grew up like loving these people, and I didn't mean to say these people, like loving our friends, and then now being in like queer spaces. And I think like not everybody grows up that way. Like our sons, our daughters, like they are growing up with having queer people very much integrated in their life, and that's not the case for everybody. And we all feel a little marginalized sometimes, whatever, ostracized in some way. So that was one of the biggest key takeaways: is have your core people that you can really count on and that you can rely on and that you can just say the craziest shit to, and that they're not going to, like, excuse me, that they're not going to judge you or make you feel some type of way for who you are or how you feel, or maybe you're wanting to explore these radical ideas. Because the more that we feel safe, the more that we feel love, it just makes us more comfortable to be authentically ourselves. And when we are able to be in that space, that's when, like, I mean, the sky is the limit for anything that we can do. With sex and intimacy also, right? Like it's like the floodgates like open of what is possible when we are able to feel like we are loved and we are accepted and we feel safe.
And
So
I think just to add to that, I know we were having a conversation earlier in the week where it's also having people that you can say things and like explore certain topics that you're trying to like figure out without having it be a thing, right?
Without
like we're
being
living
canceled.
without being canceled and that's the only way that you could actually like learn about those things and teach people, is by having the conversations respectfully, obviously. But I feel like that's such a huge point of like being able to have open dialogue with people that, like you said, are not going to be judging you or like quick to be like, no, you're wrong. Like, shut up, don't say that.
Right. Yeah. and of course accountability is a piece too, right?
Yeah.
Like you want your people to still keep you accountable, but like you said, be able to say, hey, you know what, like I'm trying to navigate this thing. I don't really know if I'm saying the right thing. I don't know if I'm feeling the right thing. Like how do we get there, and just have like conversations around that. I don't know. I think maybe
It
somebody,
felt like maybe possibly a little mini
It's
earthquake.
probably the jujitsu.
I don't know,
office.
maybe
Yeah.
jujitsu, somebody
Yeah.
threw someone
Yeah.
against the wall. Who knows?
The office is behind
The
us.
Matrix is
No,
happening.
I think they're practicing. Yeah, back there.
No, it's over that way.
It's over.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll know if there was an earthquake for sure.
Chat.
If you're in the chat, let us know.
Yeah.
Please.
Hello.
Y'all know everybody's marking themselves safe from the earthquake on fucking Facebook or
No,
Instagram and shit, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When everybody says stuff.
Or you'll see earthquake in all
right.
caps
Right.
with like a million exclamations.
What were you gonna
marks
say,
after.
please?
Before we go to the next, I was like too late to stop you, but I was like, did you do the cuddle party? Because I heard that one, and I was like, I might be into something like that. Like,
So I didn't participate in the cuddle party. By the time I had realized, well, mind you, I'm also in the session and I'm crying and my nervous system is a wreck. And so I'm doing like my butterfly hug activities and all of that and trying to like just regulate myself. But I did sign up for Reiki the next day. It just so happened that before I was going to do the Reiki, I attended a tantric breathing class and I didn't need it after that. So that was again another beautiful thing. Like, God, the universe is just always working in our favor because I was between two different sessions. My mindset was initially to say, okay, I'm going to go and it's like, what can I learn to bring back to sexual frequency, right? Like, what do I think is going to like make the people who listen, all 10 of you? I mean,
We
10
love all
times
10
a
of you.
million. Yeah, we love you all. But I was like, what can I bring something like practical? And so I was going to do another class. And as I'm coming down, there happens to be another Latina in the elevator. So it was like fucking one of 6 of us, right? Like, what are the odds? So I'm asking her what session she's going to go to. And she's like, oh, I'm going to go to the tantric breathing. I was like, I'm between these two. And she goes, I just feel like the tantric breathing is where I need to improve on for myself. And I was like, this bitch is right. I went to both rooms to scope out the energy, and no was like, okay, no, you need to be in the tantric breathing. And the person who put that on, her name is Davy Ward, another phenomenal Black woman. My God, like she was just, these women were just, I have the chills, were just everything. Like all the ways that she was talking about like how she was trained and certain yogis and these women. And I was just like in awe. And so it was a room of maybe, I don't know, 40 to 50 of us, men and women. And we all participated. We learned 2 different breathing styles and we all participated in one. It was called Ocean something. I can't remember it, but picture of this room. We're all like, people are laid out on the floor. People are like sitting up and we're all doing this tantric breathing. And it was like, holy shit. It was so intense. When we finished, we did it for 20 minutes. We finished, so we're like, does anybody want to share? So of course your girl was like, me, oh, my nervous system is fine now, hand me a motherfucking microphone, please. I mean, I didn't know they were handing a mic, but I was like, oh, I'll share. So they brought a mic, and this is my voice. Like my voice is like kind of on the higher sounding, and I got the mic and I said, this is my voice. I said, but when I did this breathing exercise, my voice had so much bass. And it was just coming from this like guttural place. It did not sound like me at all. And I just felt so orgasmic, so juicy, so empowered after it. It was just like mind blowing. And these are just simple breathing exercises, right? There was people in the room who were having emotional releases, who needed some extra support, guiding with like the breath. But the fact that we had this container of just all of these people who are there doing the same thing and just like having this collective breath together was just beautiful. I've done it since. You're supposed to do it a couple of times a week. I did it again and I was like, man, this is like, it's one of those things of like, you're learning these tools, so now you have to fucking do it. Use it.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Use
most
it or lose
powerful.
it.
That was one of the most powerful sessions I went to. The first session that I went to was called Finding Your Voice. And so it was like voice exercises. And I thought, oh, great for the show. I already forgot the voice exercises. Sorry, Alicia. We became friends. I became friends with the instructor. She's going to be on the show. She's really great. But we did all of these singing exercises. And then everybody got to create like a little mini song with an affirmation that like the group helped like set up. It was just great.
I was about to bust out in like Sister Act 2
Do it.
voice. But shout out to Nico. Who's in the chat.
Oh, Nico,
saying,
baby.
I booze no earthquake in the OC.
Okay.
Loud.
Good to know.
Good. No earthquake. Okay, so I'm trying to think. Let me go back to, there's just so many fucking things that I want to talk about. It's like just crazy. Okay, somebody said, I see you with the mags manifesting. So the Magnum condoms. A question we got was, did you get dick down? So I guess this is the Cochino Chronicle portion of the show. we went to Magic City. On our way back, we got some tacos. There was a taco truck like outside of the hotel, and we went back inside waiting to go into the play party. We were going to eat first and then go into the Kinky Olympics, it was called. And and it was crazy. We missed it, but it was like, who's the best kisser, who gives the best head. So like, if you were a judge, you got to get kissed or get head or all the things by 3 different people, and then you got to say like, oh, is this person or that person, right? Puro body. So I'm eating my tacos and I see this
What
like,
are Atlanta tacos like?
oh, they were
I
bomb.
didn't even think
This
about
was a
that.
steak one. So, dude, I'm gonna have him on the show too, guys, because y'all, yes, my sexual frequency sticker is on his taco truck. He was like, put your
Yes.
sticker right here. We're gonna have him on the show too. We were talking about the conference, and he's like, oh, I'm part of the lifestyle, and I was like, say less. And he's like, yeah, he'll be on the show.
Taco
yeah.
Man by day and Taco Man by night.
No pun intended.
What kind of
Pun intended.
what kind of tacos?
Pun intended.
And he had
What kind
like,
of tacos?
he had such a variety of stuff. Like he had like jerk taco. Oh wow, jerk tacos, steak tacos, like all kinds of stuff. So he will be a guest on the show one day too, and he needs to know the story because it's like his tacos help me get laid. So I love that. So I'm seeing this cute guy walk down the hallway, and I'm like, oh, he's pretty cute. I haven't seen him in the conference or whatever. And I'm sitting there eating the taco, and he was like, oh, where'd you get those? They look good. And I was like, oh, outside. And I was like, yeah, they taste pretty good. And he was like, what was that light again? Did y'all see the light behind me? What? No, I don't know what that
it
was.
might have been the
He's
video.
watching the video.
That's the video.
So then he was like, oh, but do they taste better than you?
Oh.
And I was just like, wait, what? I was like, excuse me. I was like, no, nothing tastes better than me. Like, of course not. And so he was just kind of like, I'm trying to find out. And I was just like, oh shit, is this happening this easily? Like, damn.
Well, hello.
Right? Like, I wasn't even like, I mean, I was dressed cute, you know, it's always cute. But and so a friend I had made was sitting next to me. She was having tacos too. And he was like, oh, your friend can come too. And I was like, and she was kind of giving me a little bit prude vibe. So I was like, I'm gonna look over and she's gonna be like, girl, what are you doing? No, like, let's go. So I look over at her and she was like, yeah, I'll go up with you. And I was like, oh shit, it's a motherfucking party now. Let's go.
And there was tacos.
And well, so here's the downside though, is that I only ate the steak taco. Was 3 different tacos. I only ate the steak one because then we went upstairs and we did our thing, and I wasn't hungry after that. And then he was like, Atlanta Boo is what I
She got her filling.
Atlanta Boo was, well, I wouldn't say that, but Atlanta dude, sorry over there, I'm getting put on blast. Atlanta dude over there was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And I was like, you know what? If you want, like, eat, you could have the tacos. And he was like, oh, it's have the taco guy. These are fucking great. I was like, I will, dude. So I did get dick down. Or let me rephrase that. I did get dick. It was okay. You know, I mean,
The tacos are better.
no, I would have still traded the experience for the tacos. Definitely would have traded the experience for the tacos. But you know, it's like he's satisfying 2 women. I get it. You know, that's a lot. He had really good. He gave really good head. I'll give him that. So yes, I
always a
did get
plus.
dick. I did not get dick down properly. He did want to have a do-over, but I wasn't feeling great. So anyway, I didn't know a way to make that happen. So that was another question that was asked. And then we had a question: what kinds of people go to this event? Is it professionals or regular people like me? So this event had a whole variety of different people. It was like all kinds of professionals, from like therapist to massage therapist to like erotic therapist to people like me who was like, hey, I have a podcast and I did like a course on like embodiment work and I'm trying to learn more, and just really anybody trying to go and learn and expand their knowledge. So it really is for anybody. Like the range of topics was so wide that you can go and find something that you really want to see.
I have another shout out. New guest in the chat, Jonathan. This show is pretty funny. Big up to your sis Shroomy. I'm Shroomy.
I was gonna say.
So who's Jonathan? What's up, love of her life? Sent you a little button. Thank me later.
We're gonna show the camera.
The pico pica.
We're gonna have Oh, do it. Yeah. So that was one of the things I got. Get into the camera. A little closer. There you go. So another question was, do we get swag? Pull it this. Yeah, maybe. Did we get cool swag giveaway? Yeah, so that was one of the things that we got. It's a, what would you call that? Like a sensation wheel.
Yes.
And so you could just put it over your skin and, roll it over any of the places.
Eileen did it on me and I was like, ooh, it felt like little, like.
It feels like you're getting shocked. Like little electric shocks.
Right? Just awesome. So many.
10 out of 10 would
recommend. Pico. Yes.
So in these conferences like these, was there? I mean, what was them? How many people? Like, were they big conferences? Are you like?
I would say
people, 20 people. I mean,
there was like an average maybe of like 300 people there.
Wow.
But every room was different. It can range anything from like 10 people to 50, 40 people, depending on what it was. The keynote obviously had a bigger space because that's like the biggest draw, but. Yeah, it was just very mixed.
Okay.
And like I said, the universe is always working for you because there was one course I really wanted to take, which was on shadow work. And the instructor didn't show up. So I hope everything's okay, but I was a little bit upset. But then that's when I ended up with the presenter who was Latina. So I was like, things just happen for a reason. So one of my biggest highlights was I've been manifesting meeting Goddess Amina for a couple of years now, and I'm a part of her institute now in Atlanta.
Do the background of where they made it.
Okay.
I know her from that.
Yeah. So if you guys have seen Sex, Love, and Goop on Netflix, she is one of the practitioners who participates in that. And when she was on there, I was like, oh my God, I know her. I've been following her. Like, this is somebody who I really highly respect and admire for the work that she does. She's very much a pleasure activist, very much an activist, and is just a beautiful, the work that she does is just, it is sacred and it is beautiful. And I got to finally meet her and hug her. And she remembered me. Like at the end of it, I went up to her and I was like I'm like Goddess Amina, like I'm Goddess Lore. And she was like, we've spoken before. And I was like, oh my God, she remembers me from Clubhouse. Like it was, and I told her, I was like, I've been manifesting like this hug from you for a while. And she just, the embrace that she gave me was worth everything. Just if I went to Atlanta and only had that isolated incident of just being in her arms and in her energy, it would have been fucking worth everything.
That's good.
Because there's just some people who have that gift of being able to connect and radiate just their love and their knowledge and their desire for people to be free in all the ways, not just sexually, but free from everything that oppresses us. And I love her so much, and I'm in her course, and we got to take a picture together, everybody who was in the Atlanta Institute. And then one of the people who was in the Atlanta Institute was someone I follow on Instagram. Her name it's Darling Nikki. And again, I was like, oh my God, like there was a couple people that I got to meet that I was already following on Instagram, like Goody Howard, Darling Nikki, the Naked Trumpeter. So people that you get to meet that are already like sort of famous in your own head, right? But it was great. She is just fucking everything. And her keynote was on erotic embodiment. And that really got me too, because there was a moment where, as free as she is now, she mentioned that her brother, I'm gonna get emotional. She mentioned that her brother was in the room, and it took her back to a place of feeling like how she had to hide for so long because she felt like she was different, or the work that she was doing just you're taught that it's bad or that it's wrong or all of the things. And I was feeling a lot of that because, thank you, iPhone, who finds random fucking photos, right? To show you every day. Like, in case you forgot about this photo, it's like I'm in one of these and I'm crying, and it's like a picture of my dad pops up. And it's just like a solo picture. A solo picture of my dad. I took that picture of him because I was in a room on Clubhouse with, shout out to, Nico and Carol Mommy. They were in the room, I'm sure, with Magical Mujer Mornings, and my dad happened to show up, and he starts contributing to the conversation. So everybody was like, PTR a picture of your dad, and I was like, I don't have one. They're like, take a picture of your dad right now. So I took a picture of my dad, and then his face pops up, and he did not even know that I was in Atlanta. I wouldn't even know how to explain to him like where I was going or what I was doing. And that leads me to another question that we got, which was like, what was the most taboo or interesting presentation? The most taboo presentation was definitely one on fisting. So I feel like
you're doing that, I'm like,
right. I feel like society or people like my dad would be like, you went to a conference to learn how to fist. And all of the other things that I just talked about would be completely negated because of that one thing. And so I was feeling a lot of that, of like, as open as I am on this platform, there's still things that I keep private, but there's still, I wouldn't want my dad to like know this part of me because, he feels personally responsible for my soul and my salvation.
Then he should be proud if that's the case.
And I wouldn't.
You're an amazing person.
Thank you. And I wouldn't want to hurt him in any way. But I feel like this is something I have to do. I can't stop. I'm like, I'm already naked. I'm already naked practically in front of the world. I can't stop.
I mean, look, when we talk about this stuff, we know that my dad, separate from those, feelings or whatever, deep down, he's also suppressing his sucio side. So
y'all didn't hear that. That was Momo saying sucio.
Yes. I mean, they had mirrors on the ceiling.
No. My dad
You're half and half, so he's,
you get it from somewhere.
You get it from somewhere,
Yeah, you do.
She got it from her daddy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Low key though. She low key got it from her daddy.
What?
Cancer. He's a Cancer. No, he's definitely a freak, but he's definitely very suppressed because of his religious and spiritual and his spiritual beliefs. So yeah, exactly. He flogs himself in the not fun way. Like for sure.
Just some more comments in the chat.
Yes, let's hear.
We got Nico, repórtense. And this weekend should have been a reality show because I want to watch. Eyeball emoji.
Who was that? Who said that?
Nico. Okay. You should have had cameras following you, and then Carol, Mommy, me, and Nico watching with our tosti locos.
Yes, that was when I was talking about wanting to go to a play party, and they were like, "Can we go and watch from the outside with our tosti locos?" I'm like, "Yeah, if y'all want to." But yeah, just so many great things. I wanted to share also that they have a wish wall there, and with like a tack board and just like a post-it note, and you can put your wish on there, whatever it is. And it ranged everything from, hey, if you don't want the butt plug in your swag bag, like give it to me, here's my number, to like, hey, we're interested in a threesome, here's our number, or we want to have a, like, who's down for a nipple orgy. And so that was the first night. And so I took down a number of a couple who was looking to have a threesome. So it's like looking for a femme. It was a hetero male and a pansexual female. So I got the number and I like hit him up like that night. And then the next day it was like I sent a picture, you know, it's like BBW Latina, like let's talk boundaries and expectations, see if we match. And then her dude backed down. He wasn't ready. I have a feeling they started talking about their boundaries and they just didn't match, you know. But it's all good.
Baby steps.
I put myself out there. And I have to say that all the, like, when I was feeling alienated and all of those things, we met some friends and we were having dinner, and one of them had big pussy energy, like a tarot, and we each pulled a card, and it was literally like, just be you. Like, you don't have to do anything, you just have to be you, which is everything that embodiment is about, right? It's just about being you, present in the moment, in your body. That's it. And I was like, fuck, okay, I just need to be me. That's all I need to do. Like, what, why am I feeling so like all of these things, right? So the next day I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm in a room full of like ethical sluts, right? People with the same mindset. I'm going to put my wish on the board. And even when I wrote my wish, I still felt a little like, okay, I know I'm a baby, but I know people are probably going to look at this and be like, this hoe. But I did it. I'm not going to say what I wrote on the wish. I'm not. Maybe another time. I'm sorry.
You just like dangled the pork chop in front of us and then took it back.
Even the audience is going in.
Even what?
The audience is going in.
I'm getting boos from the peanut gallery over here. Okay, fine. Y'all want me to fucking say? Why am I giving up so easily? I don't know. I'm gonna think about that still.
Cheese mostly want to know.
Okay, but I wrote it, and as soon as I wrote it, I just felt so empowered. And I was like, this is fucking me. And I'm not going to be ashamed. And I put it on the board. And I wasn't ashamed at Sex Down South. But even now in front of a microphone, I'm like, maybe I don't say it. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. Think about it.
All right.
Yeah,
Just
stay for pillow talk and you might find out.
Oh, this is gonna be a good car ride home.
I
Okay,
have
so
a question.
yes, please.
So now that you've, if there's anything else you want to,
Oh no, I
like,
prefer the
specifically
question. Yeah.
highlight? Now that you've been, and I'm sure you're planning on going, you know,
I'm a
again,
forever homie now. Yeah.
what would your advice be to someone in your position this time around?
Like
You know?
going there for the 1st
Mhm.
time.
A baby. It's
By,
gonna be a baby.
like not knowing anybody, having crazy sisters FaceTiming you every night.
Oh, we didn't even talk about this. We should address this at some point.
Virgo
Yes.
season.
Listen, I'm your friend. Come with me. Spend the time with me. Like, I will roll with you. Release expectations. That's the biggest thing. Just release expectations. There was play parties every night. I'd never been to a play party. My expectations were very different of what was actually happening, and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I want to see people fucking. Where's the line to get fucked, y'all? Like,
So can we
Rip
say
my
what a play
bodysuit
party is
off.
for those that don't know?
a play party. So now I guess, I'm seeing like there's a variety of different things that happen, but it's a space where people go and they can engage in different types of play. So for example, they had a dungeon there at all times. So it was cool to be able to see, like, they had 2 St. Andrew's crosses. You guys all know what that is, right? The cross where people could do impact play, get flogged. They had 2 benches where people could get like spanked and stuff. They also had 2 swings. So things like that, and people can go and engage. So I think not Momo doing the St. Andrews. I don't know what that was.
She was a full pose.
She's doing St. Andrews cross on a swing. I don't know. That was interesting.
That's right.
While drinking water.
While drinking water out of the fucking garrafon right here.
She really is drinking water out of the
We'll have to show it. We'll have to show a
a
picture
1
of
gallon
that.
ass bottle of water.
Tell him, Momo, I gotta stay hydrated. Tell him.
So I think I was disappointed because the people who were playing were people who knew each other already. They were as like couples or whatnot. It didn't feel initially like as like open, to like want to just ask somebody to like, hey, can you fucking spank me or whatever. That was happening. But I think like when you just release your expectations and just be yourself. I met so many beautiful people. I met so many friends that you're going to see on the show. Like, shout out to Manny, shout out to Alicia, shout out to Nicole, Lamisha. Oh my God, why am I forgetting your name? Fucking twerking girl at the fucking bar. Oh my God. Kara. I hope I got that wrong. Right. Sorry, boo. But just so many amazing people that, we were texting today. So, just friendships that, are going to continue to grow and flourish, and just don't be shy. Talk to people. You're not the only one. Like, you're not alone. You're in a space where everybody is so loving and so accepting. Nobody is there to yuck your yum. Everybody is there to just praise and uplift each other and have hard conversations. There was some sessions that were, it was not all fun and, fucking or whatever. It was hard conversations.
It's a good life metaphor. Not all fun and fucking.
Yeah, we want it to be right.
Like for next year.
No, let's go. Like, so I'm putting it out there. I'm hoping to maybe be a presenter next year. Putting something together and being a presenter and possibly taking like my crystal toys with me. So I'm hoping that we make the space more brown also.
Is it always in Atlanta or is it?
That one is always in Atlanta. Okay. Yeah, Sex Down South. It's always in Atlanta. But yeah, just go out there and fucking do the fucking thing. Even if your sisters are like, go and buy mace, go and fucking buy a knife. Don't let any weirdos in your room.
Knives with a little cat with an ear will shake you.
It's all like face off. Stab and twist.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was like literally, my sisters were like, don't fucking go to anybody's room. Don't fucking let any weirdos into your room.
All the things
all the things I wanted to happen. I was like, y'all are like really being extra right now. Like, it's, I was. I like that. Twat blockers.
I wasn't blocking that. It was more just be safe and don't get robbed.
If you're down there, the idea is it's you're not gonna run into people like that, right? You're generally in a safe space, right?
It definitely felt like a safe space, absolutely, and that's where I was coming from. Of like, these are very like-minded, people that are all coming together, for this event. So
yeah, I didn't mean those people. I meant like the outsiders that were not a part of the conference,
like the non-sex,
like the ones I was looking for on Tinder, like those.
Yeah. Like
Tinder is a
swindler.
fucking
Tinder swindler. It's gonna be like, I need you to book this ticket for me.
Yeah, there is
like,
there's so much I did not get to cover. And we are already out of time. I didn't even get to cover all of the new things I tried. I didn't even get to cover the play party. We have to show the 360 video though. Like, we definitely have to. Okay, so let me backstory. This is the Big Bang party, and they had a 360 photo booth. And before I went to the photo booth, the last performer of the night her name is Pearl Noir, and she is this like gorgeous woman who embodies Josephine Baker, and she does a burlesque act. And she came out and did her act to Hotline Bling, not like not Drake's version. It was like a different rendition, and she was like the embodiment of fucking Mercury retrograde. Okay, so
look at that.
This is fucking me. Okay, fuck.
Talk about
This
hot
is
Nana.
me. Okay, this is a big bang, right? So this is my outfit for the big bang. Y'all gonna see my ass looks pretty banging right now. So I'm like thinking I'm cute. I'm gonna embody like my sexiness, right? Rick, go ahead and
All
roll
right,
the tape.
I hope the audio comes out, but here we go. We're hitting play now. Here we go.
This is my nailed it moment. I mean, look at that ass though. Here I am, you know, my cool. Whip the hair. But then wait for it. Nailed it.
Look, but I'm telling you, if you didn't point it out, it would be like
That's-
you're doing like
That's
the-
exactly what I told her. That's exactly what I told her. I was like, girl, like it just so happened that it came in right when the filters were doing it.
Yeah, it was like
So-
perfect.
Not me almost falling. And then
I thought
afterwards,
that was part of it.
No.
What happened?
I'm gonna say it was me fucking doing a dance move.
Yeah.
Apparently, no,
You were
I
doing
almost
that
fell.
down south, like, yeah, that's what you can say. It
Then afterwards, I'm like, bitch, the platform's not even moving. It's the camera that's moving. Like, what did I do? Like,
did you get like a little bit like?
I had a drink. I was
Okay.
tipsy, but I thought I was looking hella cute, right? Like whipping the hair and shit. And then it's like, girl, nailed it moment. Like, you know.
I don't know if the video was blocked for you guys, but I feel like I sent a 360 video of someone like falling off of it like recently.
And speaking of 360, shout out to our sponsors, which, you know, we didn't do a commercial. But 360 photo booth expert, hit them up for your parties. And you'll get all kinds of fun videos like that you can end up showing people after of like, look at this bitch almost fell. Like she thought she was all embodying fucking Beyonce and shit.
You gotta stop saying that. You did not almost fall, girl. You did it right.
You were good.
Right, you're right, you're right.
I'm telling
Thank
you,
you.
it looked like the what
Yeah.
do they call it? The slam.
I was doing like a move.
like
Yeah.
you know where they do the slam and they go back. Yeah,
I'm
goes
just
back. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it.
I like it. I'm just gonna stick to the fact that my ass looks really great, really fat
good.
and juicy. I'm down for that. We're gonna have to do a part 2 because, like I said, we didn't get to the play party. One of the most erotic moments of my life happened at the Big Bang, and I tried a lot of different things. But we have to get to horny astrology. We just have to do it because Reese's is like, wait, who
Huh?
that?
Where are they at?
Who's gonna do that? Yes, we'll do a part 2. We'll continue Sex Down South combo next week, and we're gonna have Daisy here. She's gonna get to hear all the fun, juicy stuff. But now we're gonna go to the last segment of the night, which is horny astrology with the High Priestess.
What is up, guys? I don't have a segment really because it's Mercury retrograde, and I decided to let it go and
Let it go.
release expectations because when you try to plan stuff, it doesn't usually go the right way. And just with the timing of everything, I'm like, if I plan stuff out, it's not going to come out the way I want it to, and then I'm going to be mad after. So I think, right now, with being in Mercury retrograde and everything going on, it's definitely affecting our relationships. Not just love relationships, all relationships. So, I think the most important part right now is to just slow it down a little and release the expectations, go with the flow. And it's funny because all these conversations I've been having are connecting right now. We're not what were we talking about the other day, where what we perceive of what people are saying versus what they're actually intending to say, and how we come up with those stories in our heads and we react to those people based off of the stories we're telling in our head versus just this astrologer I follow, Eliza Kelly, she said this thing this week that was lead with curiosity and ask questions and ask for clarification. And Mercury retrograde is the perfect time. If you're ever confused about anything you're hearing, restate what you just heard so that the person who said it can say, no, that's not what I meant. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to happen in Mercury retrograde. You're not going to be on the same wavelength. So slow it down, release expectations, and be gentle with your relationships right now. All of them. I think that's like the theme that's coming up a lot for me is talk to people. If you're feeling some kind of way about something that was said, bring it up and don't keep it to yourself, because that's, like I said, you start acting based off of those feelings, and more times than not, it might not even be what that person intended. There's a lot of great astrology happening later. We have a new moon, a lot of things happening in Libra right now. So
Oh, are y'all both Libras?
No, Libra
Listen,
moon.
the peanut gallery over there is like Libra moon
It's
and
like
Libra
the
sun.
air section over there, because we got a lot of water and earth over here. Oh, you're a Gemini as well too, right? Do you know your other signs? No. Okay. But we have the one air correspondent on this side.
We need it.
But we are in Virgo season right now, so details are important. Libra season is coming up soon. The 22nd, I believe, is the actual date when Libra season starts. So Libra is all about relationships and partnerships, and Venus is going into Libra, which is it's like Taurus. It likes being in that sign,
exalted in love, and
yeah. So even though it's Mercury retrograde, there's still some things that are helping it not be so crazy. So I just wanted to talk through that, and Mercury retrograde is always such a hot topic, and people freak out, and I get it, but when things happen, it's just like, well, Mercury's in retrograde.
It's funny. I do want to add though, because Mercury retrograde in Libra is so much about like relationships. So somebody was saying like, don't jump to conclusions in your head. Like, you don't know why your crush is acting a certain way. Like, stop creating these stories. Like, just be direct and like have that conversation. But it's so easy to jump to conclusions, right? Like, we need to just stop. Don't jump to conclusions with bad knees. That's a line from Figgy Baby. Shout out to Figgy Baby. My knees be hella fucked up. Okay.
Always jump to
Let's not talk about these.
Yeah, that was it. This is Horny Astrology, ever evolving, ever changing, every month going with the flow. That's what you should do in Mercury retrograde too.
I love it. Thank you for that. I definitely needed to hear that, because for me, like, I'm also still, it's still healing from past relationships, right? Like, so when things start happening or you start like feeling a certain way, I'm like, okay, does this belong to this situation, or is this bleeding over from something from my past? And I found that a lot of times it is like bleeding from things from the past. So,
and actually my birth Mercury is in Libra too, so
can you read that?
I'm extra.
There's a comment. Jonathan says,
yes.
I am Daisy, the astrological on-site correspondent.
I love that. You are welcome to come anytime. We will hand you a mic, and you'll be on next week, so we're excited for that. Thank you for that, High Priestess. It's always comforting, even though it's like shit, like we know like logical things, right? Like, don't jump to conclusions, talk to people, go with the flow, be easy.
It's harder to do.
We need to hear it, especially during this retrograde time, for sure.
And don't talk to your exes.
I saw a meme that was like, if you have sex with an ex during retrograde, you're retrosexual.
That's a good one.
Retrosexual.
That's a good one.
For all you folksies out there that keep going back to old shit, better stop it.
Yeah. No kidding. Okay, well, that is the show for tonight. Are we y'all feeling pillow talk for a few minutes, or we're ready to wrap it up.
I feel like if we go on a pillow talk, that's gonna be another
It's
hour because we
gonna-
want to
it's
hear.
gonna-
We need to
yeah,
save
it's
some
gonna-
for.
We need to save it
for
for
next
next week.
time.
Yeah.
True. Man, next episode is gonna be hella juicy.
Litty.
There's a lot
We're
of
gonna leave the audience wanting
there's a
more.
lot
Yeah.
that I have a lot that I have to share. Well,
This is a
I'm
two-parter.
I'm still sorting out what I actually want to share.
We
Y'all
can
look at
pre-show at King Chago.
yeah, y'all look at most of it. You know, I'm pretty transparent with transparent.
No,
I
you're
don't know
so
what's
transparent.
going on.
That's
wanna-
why when you were a little bit reserved about sharing something, I'm like,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
leave her
I want to
alone
know what that
because she
wish
always-
was.
I still want to know, and I think that's gonna be on our way to King Taco right now. But
I
yeah.
might spill it over some sopes. I mean, it might happen.
That's always how you get someone to dump it all.
Definitely,
the sope from King
definitely.
Taco.
But you know, there are still a lot of things that I do keep reserved that are between me, Kinky Boo, and God, and that they will always remain that way, unless I die before you guys and y'all find my phone. Which please don't ever, please don't ever.
Burn after reading.
before we close the show, though, I do want to say that I am in so much deep gratitude for everybody who made this trip possible for me. I'm in a transitional space right now, and to just feel so much support and so much love from my friends, from my family, from extended family and friends,
Stop crying.
people who just listen to the show and just say, hey, here's $10, go fuck it up in Atlanta. I have such deep gratitude, and everybody who donated, who shared, who just sent positive vibes, I hope that may come back to you tenfold, and that you will get to have an experience that is life-changing and transforming as this event was for me. I do want to apologize because my intention was to go there and to create content and film vendors and all of the things and just share with you while I was there. But I was not expecting that I was going to need so much time to be introspective and just calm and quiet. I needed a lot of time just to be alone. But I promise you that I met a lot of great people. That Taquero will soon be on. I promise he will be on. And just thank you so much, because this really is community, right? Like, even if you don't support my secret wish that went up at Sex Down South, you don't have to, but you support me, and that's also what community is. So I am just so blessed. I'm blessed, and I just, again, so much gratitude, and that may it multiply for everybody who has just love and support for me and for this event. I love you so much. Thank you. And we're gonna close the show like we do every episode. We know my mom was here flashing lights and causing fake earthquakes and doing all of the things. And the words of our ancestors, my mom, who said, play with yourself every night so that you know your body and you know what you like. This is Goddess Lore,
Rick Rocks.
Eileen, the intern.
High Priestess.
the Peanut Gallery over here, the correspondents, the Libra correspondents, Daisy and Momo. We will be back next week live. Share us with your friends, because y'all know we're kinky like that.
And send us some Cochina Chronicle stories.
Yes,
please. We're
send us
waiting
your
for
Cochina
those.
Chronicle stories. I know you're out there doing the stuff.
They're
You can
the
remain
DM.
anonymous. Nobody has to
Huh?
be known. Just send us the story.
They're the DMs. The sliding in the DMs. Daisy and Momo.
Sliding in the
Daisy and
DMs,
Momo.
Daisy and Momo. I feel like they're gonna be our admin team now.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all are admin team. Momo's like, the fuck. Okay.
Real correspondence.
I just came to that. I'm on water.
Can I flash the camera real quick to you guys, just like real fast?
You're cute, don't worry.
This is the studio,
Cute, cute,
guys. There's Momo.
It's the DM.
And Daisy. DM Libra Gang
It's
in the
going down in
building.
the DM.
Y'all, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week at 9 p.m. Besitos.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.